Okay, now let's see how we look up a primitive in the MicroWorlds vocabulary and answer the questions, is it a command or a reporter? How many inputs? What type of information does the procedure like for each input? If the procedure is a reporter, what is its output? If a command, what is its effect? Then we will use that information to translate an entry from the vocabulary into a tank with hoppers or pipe if needed. You will find some procedures that don't need hoppers or pipes. I'm going to open MDiagrammer. And I am going to start with the command set size. Let's look that up in the vocabulary. Under S, set BG, set color, set font size, set shape, set size. Let's take a look at our questions. I'm going to look at the primitive set size. Is set size a command or a reporter? Well, let's see. The way we check the vocabulary for hints to see if this is a command or a reporter, we look first at the first sentence here. This says set size sets the size of the turtle. It sets the size of the turtle. So you want to ask yourself to see if it's a command or a reporter, is that making a change? Some kind of change in the MicroWorld environment? Are we telling foo to do something? Or are we asking foo for some information? It kind of looks like we're telling foo to do something. Another place to look for a clue is in the third column with the examples. So we see this example, set size 15, where set size is the first procedure name on the line. Well, we know that a line of instruction has to start with a command. So it looks like set size is a command. So let's write that down. So set size is a command. How many inputs does it need? Okay. To check the inputs, if there are any inputs for a command, like the command set size over here, they'll be listed right underneath the procedure name. So right underneath the procedure name set size, we see number. And we see that it's in italics, slanted. So that's telling us that it's an input, and it's a particular kind of input. It has to be a number. Set size wants a number for an input. Okay, so it's taking one input. We can put that down for our answer. How many inputs? The answer is one input. Now, let's see. What type of information does the procedure like for each input? Let me get rid of this. What type of input does it like? Well, we see over here, set size likes a number. So I'm going to write number. Okay. And since there's only one input, we just have to write one type of input, number. Okay. Let's see. If the procedure is a reporter, what is its output? Well, we already decided set size is a command, so we don't need to put, it doesn't have any output, so we don't need to answer that question. Let's see. If a command, what is its effect? Okay. Its effect is, let's see, that it sets the size of the turtle. Sets the size of the turtle. And you'll see there's a bunch of other interesting information in here. The original size of the turtle is 40. So when you originally create a turtle, its size is 40. And there's information about maximum and minimum. This is good to know. The turtle shapes look nice when they are multiples of 20. You can also change the size of the turtle with the magnifiers. Also good to know. But this is all the information that we need to be able to draw the tank with the hoppers. Okay, so that's what we're going to use right now. I'm going to go to MDiagrammer. I can shrink this. And I've got set size, command. I know it takes one input. Box length just says how long the box is going to be. The default is 100, so I'm going to leave it at 100. And I'm going to say draw tank. And there it is. So there's my tank. Now notice, since it's a command, there's nothing, there's no pipe on the bottom there, nothing coming out. Let's put an input in there. Let's see. Move this down a little bit so I have some room. And let's say I want to set size to a nice multiple of 40. Let's say, how about 60? Or a nice multiple of 20. So 60 would work. And now, in order to be able to click on the button, I have to be in pointer mode. So I'm clicking on the pointer. I go over here and say draw word or list. And now I have an input of 60. I also want a little arrow. Let's hit draw arrow. And I can always use the selection tool to move things around and get them where I want them. And here we have a nice diagram for set size 60. And we can do it.